Hello, I'm Rita Bearcat and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you are just joining for the first time, this is day 18 of 30 days of art challenges. I sent out these art challenges to my subscribers and I will put a link below if you would like to receive them in your inbox. You don't have to do them on YouTube like I am, but you can do them any which way you want to do them. I just thought it would be super fun, and for me, it was a good way for me to be accountable. So today, I'm working in my medium art journal. I started with a gessoed page. The reason I did that is because I had something on there before, I really didn't care for it, and I decided to go in a totally new direction. And gesso really works to cover up a whole bunch of stuff when you really don't want to see it anymore. So I have gessoed the pages and let it dry completely. And now I'm going back in and coloring my sky and some clouds. And I'm using a little bit of watercolor and acrylic paint, both, just because there are certain colors sometimes that you can't get in one or the other, or you don't have it on hand. So I just kind of work with both. It's not a big deal to me. And I'm just adding some waves in there. And I didn't draw this ahead of time. A lot of times I do, especially if it's something that's going to be with a lot of detail, but this was just for fun. So I'm using different colors so that I can make a lot of variation in the waves. And like always, when you're doing something, sometimes when you're in the middle of it, it doesn't really look like what it should, but it does in the long run. On top of the blue sky, I just use a very light coat of gesso because I didn't happen to have, I could have used acrylic paint probably on the top. I just used a light coat. And so I'm just playing with waves, no straight lines to make those waves come alive. Now, if you haven't worked with gesso before, gesso is a primer, and you can use it as your base before you're painting a surface, especially if it's something that's quite porous, that's going to leak through. This wasn't that case. To me, I used it because I needed to cover up what was already on the page, and gesso does that really well as well. It comes in different colors. The white really stops all the bleeding and all the other colors from coming through. Now, as I'm adding all these fun colors, I don't rinse my paintbrush in between the colors. I just keep adding a new color to it. And if they mix a little bit, that's just even bonus. Now on the bottom, I am adding a texture sand, and it comes already mixed. You can find a lot of different pastes. I'm using this one, and I'm not going to list it before because I wasn't crazy about it. If it was something that I was like, oh, this is fantastic, I would totally list it below, but I didn't particularly care for the way that it dried. It dried a little bit tacky, and I don't know. I've used different brands before, and this one was okay. But I had it on hand, so I figured I'd try it, and I did. So it has a lot of sand in it. It was hard to get onto the page too, whereas some go on really easy and stick really easy. It wasn't really sticking to the page. So it was a little bit frustrating, but you know what? That's how we learn. We try different brands and we try different things, and that's how we learn. So once I have my sand in place, I knew that I still needed to add something to it. not just having water. So I ended up grabbing some brown paint so that I could make a couple of palm trees. Now, something you may not know about me is that I was born in Puerto Rico, and so palm trees are native to me. Not only that, I didn't live there my whole life, but I grew up in California, which also has a ton of palm trees. So palm trees was like a basic that you had to learn how to draw pretty early on, since that was those trees were everywhere. So I'm just going right on top with a little bit of watercolor. Adding some texture onto the bark of the palm tree by making little lines, lighter and darker colors. If you notice, I put the darker one in the back. Just because I'm thinking, okay, if the sun is where we are and the sun is shining on the trees, then the one behind would be a little bit darker. Not much, but a little bit. So if you're drawing palm branches, I like to draw that curved line first, because that's going to give me a kind of a where are my branches going to go. So I make those little squiggly lines first, and then I make squiggly lines connected to the first squiggly line. That makes sense. Or the first curved line. Again, using a couple of colors at the same time of green to give it a little bit of depth. And then going to the back tree and giving some palm branches into there. And giving you that tropical feel of looking out to the ocean with a couple of palm trees. It looks like a nice day. Nice day on the beach. Add a couple of coconuts there. So once the palm trees went in, I felt like the clouds were a little bit too faded, and you never know until everything comes together. So I added a little bit more white, a little white gesso, just because the gesso does cover over any color and stay white. And now I'm just going in with white in some areas just to kind of show splashing and movement into the water. And this part really is just random, just kind of looking at the overall picture and trying to decide where do we need a little bit of lightning, a little highlights, and lightening up those waves to give some crashing in the clouds. Well, Well, I hope that you liked this video. If you do, please give this a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And if you want those challenges in your inbox, I would be happy to send them to you. Just sign up on the link below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.